Hey, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. You can call me Pajama Grandma if you want, or you can just call me Sharon. I pretty much answer to anything these days. I'm a little bit more chill than I was in my past lives. I say lives because I've had past lives. Even on this life, I've had past lives. So, relationships. I want to talk about relationships for a couple of minutes and the power of relationships and the impact that they have on our businesses, our lives, on absolutely everything. I might have mentioned before that I actually died in 2010. I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died. And prior to that, I've always been, I always thought knew relationships were important, but I didn't necessarily put relationships first in any area or aspect of my life. Now, the reason I started my own businesses back in the day and got involved and always had my own businesses was because I wanted to, of course, spend more time with my kids and do more with them and be available and be more flexible and have more freedom. Now, is that what really happened in my businesses before 2010? Not so much. I actually just took my workaholic tendencies from corporate America and transferred them into my businesses probably threefold, which I didn't think I could do because in corporate America, I was kind of a psycho workaholic. So the fact that having my own businesses, I did the same thing, only worse, and created just this mess of expectations of myself and an unrealistic way of living, ended up definitely negatively impacting my relationships, all of my relationships, my marriage for sure, my kids. They just, thought I worked all the time, and they were absolutely right. I did make time for and get to the things that were important for them, and I would put them, they were definitely one of my highest priorities. They weren't always first. Sometimes work in my businesses came first, with the excuse that, and I think a lot of men have this, and maybe more and more women nowadays as we're business owners, but I'm doing this for you, I'm building this for you so that you don't have to work so hard in the future. And I think we always do everything that we do with the best of intentions, but we aren't always seeing the big picture. And one of the biggest things I learned from the death experience was that the most important things in our lives are relationships with people and the experiences that we have. And most of those experiences that really mean the most to us are those that involve other people, right? Our relationship with ourselves is, of course, the most important and number one. If we don't love ourselves, we're not able to love anybody else. I mean, we hear that all the time, but actually feeling it and knowing it and expressing it and being it and living it in our lives isn't as easy as it sounds for a lot of us. I mean, I think we're so conditioned to believe that we're not good enough or that we're not worthy, that we take things out on ourselves. I mean, we talk to ourselves in our heads, like we would never, ever talk to another human being. And everybody doesn't do that, but I think the vast majority of the population does. And maybe I just think that because I do that. So relationships with ourselves, relationships with other people. For example, back when I was running my brick and mortar businesses, I would often have to say when my sisters and mom were going to visit my grandmother that I couldn't go because I couldn't go. I had obligations. I had to fill in or help at work. I had to, go to meetings. I had to do whatever. And I would say no, and I didn't go with them to see and visit my grandma. Well, now today, why this comes to mind is my mom and I are going to see my grandma. My grandma's 99 years old. She'll be 100 in October. I don't miss going to see my grandmother ever since my sudden cardiac arrest. Every time I've been offered the opportunity to go see her with them, I say yes, because there's nothing more important than this amazing woman that if it weren't for her, none of us would exist in my family, right? So I drop everything and go see my amazing grandma. Plus, it's amazing and fun to go see her and hear her stories. And she's got some memory issues and some challenges. And I think primarily that's because she's been in a memory unit for 5 years. And had she been in a place that would stimulate and talk to her and pay attention to her, I don't think she'd be failing as fast as she is now. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But my point is that relationship is really important to me, and I will not miss going to spend time with her. Same with my granddaughter. I am now caregiving for my granddaughter for a period of time until she goes to school and things. She's 4, and I watched her the first year of her life, and then I didn't for the next couple of years, and then the kids asked if I could help out again this year, and I'm busy. I got stuff going on. I got businesses going on. But you know what? I drop everything and I say yes. So from the time she gets to my house to the time she goes home every day, with the exception of a couple of interviews here and there, a couple of obligations, or sometimes I'll have to take a coaching student call, I just focus on her and pay attention to her, because I know that that's way more important than any coaching call or business call or anything that I think I have to do in my online world or online business. It's just, we forget. And I was reminded of this the other day. The people that we love the most are the ones that we shit on the most. Let's be honest, including ourselves, right? Ourselves and those we love and care about, our family, our friends, our kids, are the people that take the brunt of our frustrations in life, or our dissatisfactions in life, or our disappointments, or our doubt and our fear and our worry. And they're the ones that we should be treating the best. And, I've got a couple family members that treat strangers way better than they treat anybody in the family. They have this disdain for everybody in the family, which I just don't understand, because the people that love and care about them the most are the people that they treat the worst. I don't know where that comes from. I do know for certain that will come back to haunt them, because when we die, we come in with nothing, we leave with nothing except the experiences that we've had. And a lot of those experiences, the best ones, the ones that give us our best memories, involve our relationships with other people. So don't take your relationships for granted. I guess that's what I'm talking about today. And especially those that you love and care about. Those relationships are worth dedicating time to. Those relationships are worth prioritizing and making important. Now, I'm not saying that you bend over backwards to do whatever someone else wants. I'm saying that you create the relationships that support you in your life, and you support those relationships to the point that you want them to be. You create them how you want them to be in your life. But treat those that you love and care about the best, not the worst. I guess that's my main thing today. So what am I working on today from a business standpoint? 90-day challenge. Today is day 32 already of the 90-day challenge. Also doing, what else am I doing? A project with a team that I should have done by now. And, I always say I should have had it done by now, but everything gets done when it's supposed to get done in the exact right divine time or whatever. So I got to quit beating myself up about not having things done yet. I sound like my kids. Well, I should have done this already. I should have done that. And I know exactly where they get it. And I feel bad because that's not the kind of frustration or thoughts that I wanted to pass on to them. But I spent a lot of years being frustrated and thinking I should have been able to do the Wonder Woman impossible that nobody could possibly do. I spent a lot of years beating myself up because I couldn't get, 5 people a month's worth of work done in a day. But I could get 3, but I couldn't always get 5. So that's what I'm working on, going to see Grandma and just focusing on the relationships of those I love and care about, including the pets. Got to take care of the pets. So I encourage you to look at and examine your relationships and, be honest. Ask yourself today, am I treating myself the way I should be treating myself? Am I treating those I love and care about the way I should or feel like? And by should, I mean the way that feels right to you, right? In your gut, not should based on their opinion or anyone else's opinion, but to you. Are you loving and treating and paying attention to the people in your life in a way that honors them and honors you? You know if you are or not, right? We know if we are or not. I know that, I like to say that my husband was a jerk, and he was, don't get me wrong. But guess what? I was a jerk right back in some instances. I didn't treat that relationship like it was my number one priority. Well, mainly because it wasn't my number one priority. And because it wasn't my number one priority or as important as it should have been, I am divorced, right? I take responsibility for that. So be honest with yourself. Just evaluate and say, am I being who I want to be in my relationships? Knowing that relationships are indeed the most important thing that we have on the planet. Now, I didn't talk about spirituality and your relationship with a higher power, because that's, again, up to you. I'm not gonna ever color anyone's opinion on that. Primarily because I don't want anybody trying to force their beliefs on me. I get to believe spirituality wise or religion wise what I want to believe, and you get to believe what you want to believe. It's just got to be what feels right for you. That's it. Go out and make it an awesome day. I'll of course be with you tomorrow.